The Trump administration hinting it may step up marijuana law enforcement.
I think that when you see something like the opioid addiction crisis blossoming in so many states around this country, the last thing that we should be doing is encouraging people. There is still a federal law that we need to abide by in terms of the medical, when it comes to recreational marijuana and other drugs.
Well, Washington State, one of the earliest to legalize the recreational use of the drug, now dropping their own hints. Could state officials be saddling up for yet another legal battle with the new administration? KXLY4's Caroline Rourke working for you with the latest. Caroline.
Nadine, when Washington State and Colorado legalized recreational marijuana in 2012, we knew this might someday become a tricky area given conflicting federal and state laws. But that was during the Obama administration, whose attorney generals usually did not strictly enforce federal marijuana laws in states that had decriminalized the drug, provided that those states adhered to what's known as the Cole Memorandum. Passed in 2013, the memo allowed states like ours to move forward with their laws with the expectation that those states would implement strong and effective regulations prohibiting certain marijuana-related behaviors, like driving under the influence or distributing the drug to minors. The government effectively recognized state marijuana laws as so-called laboratories of democracy, allowing them to experiment with legalization so long as public safety remained a priority. But that attitude could be shifting. Attorney General Jeff Sessions has taken strong positions against legalized marijuana in the past, saying during his confirmation hearing in January that it is, quote, a problem of resources for the federal government. When questioned about the policy today, White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer deferred to the Department of Justice, but hinted at a potential crackdown.
I do believe that you'll see greater enforcement of it because, again, there's a big difference between the medical use, which Congress has through an appropriations rider in 2014, made very clear what the intent of what their intent was in terms of how the Department of Justice would handle that issue.
Enter the state of Washington. Governor Jay Inslee and State Attorney General Bob Ferguson, who have already challenged the Trump administration on its executive order regarding immigration, possibly preparing to push back on stricter federal enforcement. The two penned a letter to Sessions requesting a meeting and saying in part, quote, given the limited resources available for marijuana law enforcement, a return to full prohibition is highly unlikely to end the illicit production, trafficking, and consumption of marijuana. It is far more likely that commerce in marijuana will simply move back underground, returning bumper profits to criminal groups while once again depleting government resources. The letter also noted Spicer's comparison of the recreational marijuana use to the national opioid epidemic, with Ferguson claiming that the crisis will not be helped by stricter law enforcement approach to marijuana. In studio, Caroline Rourke, KXLY4 News.
All right, thank you, Caroline.